South Florida, and welcome to the breakfast at the Brooklyn Cafe TV.
Take a deep breath and a good whiff of that coffee brewing. Grab yourself some toast, a donut, or any breakfast as Dawn and Freddie get you up and ready for the rest of the day.
So call in at 888-565-1470 to share a tip of the day.
Or just to say good morning. Shake off your sleepies, buckle in, because it's showtime.
Breakfast, the morning brew.
I don't hear you.
I hear you.
Do you?
Yes, I have to keep it a little lower on this side.
He doesn't hear you.
Who doesn't hear me?
Our executive producer says
Hey, you don't hear me?
she does not hear you. I hear you.
You hear me now?
No. Good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. I do not hear you, nor does she.
Turn up the slider on A4, please.
Now I hear you.
Now you hear me. So I put the slider down because it's right behind me,
Ah.
blowing in my ear. Welcome to the morning brew.
I think we're yellow.
I said, what?
We're yellow, too.
You know, okay, go fix it.
I can't.
We're not yellow. That's
Okay.
the TV. You know, I sent out a message to all the crew, all the pictures, everybody, for the morning crew, because I want everybody, I'm going to change things up a little bit. I want people to be in the morning brew.
Your zoo.
As a zoo, yes.
Use
and
the
everybody
zoo.
bring in a piece and everything else. And I just want to change this whole thing up, make it a little bit, don't look like that behind me. Why are you looking behind me?
Keep going.
Because I saw some things over the weekend that are pretty awesome and pretty disturbing. I got a little bit of both.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back after Memorial Day. I hope everyone had a relatively safe and common sense filled weekend.
That's the part that's missing.
And here's the thing. God decided in South Florida, he wasn't going to let anyone go to the beach. God said, you guys don't seem to know how to use common sense in South Florida, so it's going to rain for 3 days, and you will be in your houses for 3 days, and 3 more days of quarantine. And you know what? I think people stayed in, except in Delray Beach. Apparently, Atlantic Avenue had quite a busy weekend, in spite of the rain.
Atlantic had a busy weekend. Everything had a busy weekend. The amount of rain that fell was like almost 5 inches, which is unbelievable amounts of water.
I have to tell you, I got an alert yesterday that said from 2200 Northwest 2nd Avenue to 3200 Northwest 2nd Avenue was under floods, and that is exactly where our studio sits, but it's all good today.
It was flooded because there are signs, there are like these big signs that says high water. It just, you don't see it because you're coming from the south. When you come from the north, they have big signs that says high water ahead. So I guess they were working on the drainage and what have you.
Amazing.
But the important thing is that my pool is now full of water.
My pool is full, and it's a little green. I got to tell you, the chemicals must be out of balance.
My guy says, my pool never turned green, and he's right, it didn't turn green at all.
Ours is a little green.
But it was a interesting Memorial Day. Everybody down here had to stay in, not in Georgia and other places. What's going on up there with the beaches and the bars and everything else. And it's funny because they interviewed another millennial that was at a place that must have had 2,000 people in there, shoulder to shoulder. And he says, you don't want to get sick, stay home. That's what he said. And I got to tell you something. I hope they put that guy's picture in every hospital in America, because when he gets sick, I want him to tell that to the first responders are going to be bringing him back to life. But anyway, I'm not going to go down that road.
Good, don't go down that road.
I'm not going to go down that. Today is the day where we peel off the old skin and we start the new skin.
Like a snake? You're going to be shedding?
Yeah, okay, whatever. Snake, anything that sheds the skin.
I clearly have no idea what he's going to talk about any day.
Because today is the day that if you're going to look behind you, you're going to stay behind. Okay? So we have some new things that we are going to be doing. We have a new online radio station that's going to be accompanying all of our social media platform shows. It's called WAMP.FM. I don't know why I did that. I should have done WKRP, but then I'm in Cincinnati, so I didn't do that.
What happened to Amp It Up?
Amp It Up, I'm taking it out of the way because it's too long. It's going to become a commercial platform for
Okay.
commercials. I am also announcing that we are going to open up a pay-per-view channel. and we talked about this, where you can put, not-for-profits can use it to raise money, you can use it to raise money for whatever cause you want, and you can put, it comes with a gate, or we can make it free, and you can put music for cover bands on there, away from the social media platforms that do not allow you to do that. As long as you've been doing it for at least 3 years, 2 years is what they told me, you should not have a problem. Okay, because we're not selling the deal, we're going to be giving that stuff out.
Okay, sounds good to me.
All right, so that's going to be the pay-per-view channel.
Sounds good to me.
I have something called Little Stages coming up. And Yvonne Haas has agreed to work with me. You know, she's from something lipstick and stilettos.
Yes, she is.
Lipstick and stilettos with Dr. King.
Correct.
But we're taking the stiletto part of this piece because she wants to change careers.
She's a psychologist, isn't she?
She's
What kind of
that,
career
and
is she changing?
Also, she does adoption services, which is a total mess right now. Total mess with what's going on. And she's working till midnight every night and driving all over Florida to try to rectify this thing, but it's a lot of work. I don't think she's going to stop doing it, but she says she's going to hang it up. We'll see. But anyway, she's going to host this piece, and anybody who has a band, music, that wants to come on to be interviewed, she's more than willing to do it. It's a different look in terms of music because we tried to get some of the singers that we have to come on here. And they're always really, really busy, but there's thousands of mom and pops. It's the same thing that Crazy Uncle Mike does. You ever seen his platform? He brings in all these new bands, for lack of a better description, and we're going to be doing the same thing virtually as well. And as well in the future, whenever we get back to the new normal, we'll put them in here and do some concerts and what have you.
We're back.
Oh no, we're coming back.
We're back, is all I can tell you. We're rolling and we're going and we're good.
We have to go and grow because if you don't, then you're going to be left behind.
Interesting.
And nothing good is going to come with being left behind.
Well, I can tell you where nothing good comes from, watching a Christmas movie when it's raining outside and the mom dies. I can tell you one thing, don't do it.
Don't do a Christmas movie?
Do not watch a sad Christmas movie in the middle of summer when the mother dies and it's raining outside. It turns your whole day very sad. That was yesterday.
What was the name of the movie?
It was a good movie, Family Stone. But oh my...
I saw Family
Oh
Stone.
my gosh.
That was
I'm
the
like,
stupidest movie I've ever seen.
it was not.
It was.
I sat and I cried through the whole thing. But I did start watching a new series on Netflix. It's not new, actually. It's new to me because I don't normally watch TV ever. But I got into this called Hunters.
Oh, I saw that.
It's quite disturbing, but yet it's quite addicting. I think that's the Netflix way is they get you and you keep your eyes closed because it's kind of graphic for me anyway. It's kind of like Sopranos. But yet you want to see the storyline because it's intriguing of what it is. So I've been watching that. Unfortunately, we started at episode 6 by mistake. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. Then we went back to 1 through 5. Got to watch 6 again. I think there's 10. But the concept of it, but the over-under is, for me, World War II ended in 1945, right?
Correct.
You think in our generation a long time ago. This show takes place in the 70s. When you think about only 30 years between the end of the war and 32 and this show taking place in 77, all these things that this generation lived through, that adult generation no one spoke about, is in America. It's fascinating to me that why wasn't it more spoken about in public? Why weren't these stories put out? Any of it, even just what happened. And I kind of feel like as my generation came up, I did not learn enough about it. So I kind of feel badly that I did not learn about this. I know, I'm echoing in your ear.
Oh my God.
I feel badly that I did not learn about all of these things from a generation, from an incredible generation that lived through this, whether you were in America or you were overseas and migrated to America. These things were not discussed.
Are you talking about World War II?
Yeah.
You didn't learn about World War II?
You learn about it, but you don't realize the amount of people that came over to the United States that lived in New York, that lived in other places.
Now you have me totally confused.
With the stories, to live through the war, coming over here from Europe and Germany.
Wasn't there a Holocaust going on during World War II?
Yes.
Wasn't that the epicenter of what the Nazis were doing to the Jews?
But what happened after the war? what happened to all of these people that survived and got out and came over here?
South America is...
Where are their stories?
There are more glow birds in South America than there are in North America.
So where are the stories? Why are these the untold stories?
Because they stayed in hiding. They were afraid of prosecution.
And now, and even those that just got out of the camps and made it over here and made it to other places, those untold stories are untold stories. And if they did not write them down or share them with their next generation, I'm not talking about any war crimes or anything, just the stories of survival that you realize weren't told.
Wow, I'm surprised. I'm shocked.
Why?
When I grew up in Popham Avenue in the Bronx, I was 5 years old when we moved there, maybe 4 or 5. And I used to go outside, and in front of the building, there was 10 rows or 20 rows of Jewish immigrants with the
tattoo.
tattoos. And I didn't know what it meant. And I was a curious kid. My mother used to let me go outside and play. And I met a lady from Poland. Her name was Mrs. Freeman. I think I've told you about Mrs. Freeman. And Mrs. Freeman explained to me...
Val, can you bring Freddie into mic, please?
Why, you can't hear me?
You're in and out. You're spidering.
No. And did she tell you that? Oh. And what happened was that she explained to me what the tattoos meant. And I sat there and I learned about all these stories. So when I went upstairs and I told my parents what was going on, my mother says, Freddie, you're young, they're just telling you stories, right? And as I grew up, I became more and more amazed at what was going on with the stories that I heard. But you should hear the stories I heard.
But you heard them.
Yeah, I heard some real bad stuff when I was 5, 6, 7, 8. And little by little, they started to disappear. Mrs. Freeman was the last one. And I'll never remember when I was 12 years old, she was sitting in the front. No more chair in the front. She sat on the stoop. And some guys came over to bother her. The block was changing. And me and my cousins, man, we chased those guys with baseball bats out of the neighborhood. But I can tell you that the stories that I heard about what they did afterwards, how they hid, how they changed their last name, all the things, they would never wear long sleeves because they couldn't get rid of the tattoos.
Yep.
And then when I went to live in Manhattan, at where my sister lives now, they were all out there again. And I learned more and more. So I wanted to bring up, I saw The Zookeeper's Wife.
It's another amazing movie.
The Zookeeper's Wife. I got to tell you something. It startled me. It hit home. I mean, I know about the Holocaust. I know about different things that have gone on with people and the evilness what some people can do. It's just to a different level, man.
It's a whole nother level, and you realize people came here, and I said to my parents, my dad is from Brooklyn. He was born in 1939, so he grew up when people were coming back to the United States and people were immigrating over, living in Brooklyn. And if you watch Hunters, that synagogue looks just like the synagogue. I don't know how I even remember this, because I was 2 when I left New York, that my grandparents belonged to. And the basement, like my grandparents had in Brooklyn, and my dad hasn't watched it yet. He watched the first one, and he couldn't get past the violence and what it was. And I said, Dad, you grew up in these times when people were coming over after the fact, after the war. Did you hear stories? Did you see anything? And he says, I didn't realize it until you're talking to me about this, but these are some things. One of the synagogues in the neighborhood was blown up, and this was this story, and that was that story. But he said people just didn't talk about what happened, which is so interesting to me because it's this generation that it has now perished, most of them. And if those stories weren't documented or told, they're untold. My uncle helped liberate one of the camps. And all we know is he helped liberate one of the camps. That's all we know of the story, and he passed.
And as time goes on and the wounds of that pain begin to disappear, a lot of people behind us, even millennials, I look at, Freddie gave me a scare this weekend. He thought that Valerie was going to give birth. So if I get a phone call, I just have to run out here to go get Rowan. So that it is what it is. But I look at, why I grew up with people and people were calling the Jews paranoid. If you look at what they went through, I would still be paranoid. I mean, you, in football, you learn as a lineman to keep your head on the swivel, which means that you're looking all the way around you because you're a blocker and you're going to get hit and you don't want to get blindsided. And I understand the culture now. I get it. I understand why people are overcautious, over-careful. I get it. I understand that if you're a country surrounded by hate, head's going to be on the swivel. But this is what history has taught us. So I posted something. I stole a picture of the Parliament of Italy for Memorial Day. And everybody's criticizing and laughing at me like I didn't know what I was doing. And the first thing I said to them, I got your attention, right? Because Memorial Day is to honor those who have died for our freedom. And I'm just looking about, since the beginning of time, dying for a cause. Not dying to be mean, not dying to be a Nazi, not in that cause.
But
fighting
dying to
against
support
that.
for our freedom.
That's right, for supporting all freedoms.
Yep.
Because we don't learn. We are a culture that forgets. And it's funny because everybody was making fun of me until I told them that. I says, I got your attention, didn't I?
Which is why we can move from the past, but we can never forget our past, because the past is part of us. The past is what we have to hold on to, sometimes to learn from, to get better from. But those things you can never forget. And it was eye-opening to me, not about the atrocities, because you know about the atrocities. Some of that was, but the fact that I was not taught more, I did not learn more right here in the United States of America. That is a generation that I should have learned more from, and I didn't. So
I think that they...
in that respect, I wish I had learned more.
Yeah, but I don't think you were taught more because there comes a lot of pain with that teaching.
And they don't want to share. I know, I get
And
it.
there comes a lot of hate
Yeah.
that will accompany those teachings. And I think that as a parent, you have to pick whether or not you're going to teach and something's going to slip up and you're going to take that as hate.
And not my parents. My mom was born after the war.
But look how much hate there is in this country now, because people are teaching them the wrong message. They're teaching them the incident. That's how they defend themselves. But they teach them the negative of the incident. They don't teach them the positive, right? That's why you still have Nazis in this country. That's why you still have these cultures that believe that black and white skin, there's a difference. That's why you have race wars and everything else, because you're learning the wrong message. People are not born out of hate.
It's interesting, though, because our guest this morning, she is from Russia, and she's over in Tampa. And she is one of our very dear and close friends. We call her Lady N, and she's going to join us as soon as we get back from commercial break. But you talk about people immigrating over to the United States and different things that you fight for and learning a new life. So we're going to be chit-chatting with Lady N, Natalia Levy, the Cravings boss, a good friend of ours from a few years ago.
Yeah.
So let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, it's been a long time since we've seen her. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff, your branding specialist with Promo Stuff For You. So we're entering the new year. By now everybody has gotten their corporate gift, so this time of year generally is quiet with the exception of marketing departments trying to figure out what they're going to do for 2020. So it's really important that a company figures out and does proper planning throughout the year as to what type of marketing they want to do. At Promo Stuff For You, I love being able to sit down with a client and figuring exactly what they want to do, when they want to do it, and time it with the various events they might have coming up.
Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke. If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba Rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation staycation, Visit gubbarum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
We are on fire, so let's spread your business like fire. Spotlight your business, ideas, and events through our Brooklyn Cafe TV channel on Amazon Fire. Contact us today at 866-224-5422 for more information. Let the whole town, even the whole country, know your message with the click of a button. Together, we ignite.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
Good morning, Lee. Lee's getting back to work. She says she'll join when she can. All right, well, good morning, Lee. Hello to Coach Rochelle. Everyone's watching, so good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back. I think we might have a ray of sunshine, at least outside. Always a ray of sunshine in here. That's all I can tell you.
It ain't gonna stop raining till Saturday.
Well, you know what? We do.
Just gonna tell you.
We do what we gotta do. But I gotta tell you, I'm glad
Did
to
you
be out of the house.
did you like Don Pablo? Did you thank Don Pablo
I'm
Coffee?
going to. This segment brought to you by Don Pablo Coffee Growers and Roasters Home and creator of the Brooklyn Cafe Show Coffee. We have our organic Arabica blend. It comes in beans and as well as in ground.
Arabica.
Arabica.
Very nice.
So thank you to Don Pablo Coffee Growers and Roasters. You can find their coffee right here at the Brooklyn Cafe Show, also online and at your big box stores like Costco. But they do private label just like they did for us. And as we're talking about food and immigrants, no better way to segue over to Lady N. We've got Natalia Levy joining us.
And there she be.
Hello, beautiful.
Good morning. Hi.
How are you doing?
This is very early. I don't think I've gotten up this early in the last 2 months because I've been working till 2.
Well, welcome to the new you.
How are you
Yay.
doing? How's everything over in Tampa?
Oh, it has been probably not very dissimilar from many other parts of the country or the world, you know, with everything that's going on. But we are in
Jared.
reopening stages.
And what about the restaurants? I mean, did this hit you as hard in Tampa as it did over here?
Valerie.
Oh my gosh, yes, it hit us pretty hard. So we were closed for 45 days. So we have 2 restaurants, just to give you a little background. New York style clam bar that we have 2 locations. One is 3 years old, one is 2 years old. And, you know, we were doing amazing. We had tremendous growth and so proud of our teams and been doing a lot of great stuff. And, you know, March is the time when we usually have one of our biggest revenue months. And we got hit right in the middle of March. So there was an order to close, came in, and we did it right away. And within, you know, a day or 2, switched the whole business model to take out on delivery. But we're very fortunate to get the insurance in one location for our servers and bartenders to do deliveries, and so that, you know, to keep people working. And then another location we're able to get some rental cars and to implement a delivery program as well. So that was important, is to switch the whole business model.
How many restaurants do you have?
We have 1 restaurant brand with 2 locations.
2 locations, okay. And both locations are still open now?
So we are open currently at 50% capacity, indoor seating, no bar. Still do quite a bit of takeout and delivery.
And you were just in the middle of opening up a big project. What's happening? I don't even want to let the cat out of the bag.
Yes.
You let it out. What's happening with that project?
So we have a building, St. Pete in Florida, And it's a 3-story building, and we were in the process of working with the whole team of architects and kitchen designers and all of that kind of stuff. And it's going to be called Central Park St. Pete, and it's going to be a 3-story food hall. So it's going to be, we are not releasing any information about the food hall part of it, which is going to be the first floor. But on the second floor, we are doing another location for Speaks Clam Bar, which is our current restaurant brand. And there will be a rooftop, and I'm doing my first chef-inspired restaurant on the rooftop.
And right in the middle of all of this, and I see this is the new thing that is popping up, are these grand food halls.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's one in Orlando. I didn't even know much about them until I saw that you're opening one. And then my brother's opening one over in Orlando because he's with Avalon Group. And they tell me there's one in Miami. I never even knew. I feel like I'm back in Bayside, had one of these grand food halls way back in the day in Miami. Is it similar to that? And what's going to be going forward with it?
So there is a bunch. We actually went on a tour of food halls all throughout the country in different places. There's actually one that I really love in Miami. It's called Casa Tua. It's all Italian style food hall. Amazing. And there's Time Out, I believe, in Miami. I don't remember how many the other ones. There's quite a few in New York. So I think that it'll be interesting. We have 2 in Tampa currently, and the food halls themselves, it was closed. I think they just reopened. I haven't been back there yet. It's an interesting concept because it's sort of this. Some of them are, fairly casual, and some of them are upscale, and some of them are middle of the road. So it sort of gives an opportunity to people to have like a central gathering place to hang out with friends and have a cup of tea. Well, I've never, you're talking about coffee. I've never had a cup of coffee in my life.
Really?
I'm allergic, so.
Imagine never having a cup of coffee in your life, Freddie.
I can't even think of it.
Does not drink coffee. Yeah, so it's tea always for
So,
me.
okay.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
but
our
let
plans
me
are
ask you,
delayed.
let me ask you a
we're
question
still
about the
moving.
restaurants. And,
Yes.
and all new programs put aside. Restaurants right now, I just read something where restaurants are saying not to use apps of delivery. They want you to use the restaurant's delivery because the monies are so slim that what's happening is you're paying more, ordering less for the apps. Is that true?
So the way that the apps are working is places like Uber Eats and Grubhub and Postmates, a lot of them, they charge upwards to 30%. They charge that to the restaurant. And our profit margins are so slim to begin with. I mean, for most restaurants, we're looking at 8 to 10% profit.
It's really
From
interesting
the
because we've
cost
been
of the food,
ordering
yeah.
online, and I've noticed when I go through the apps, I can get a sandwich for $18. If I go to the restaurant, it's like $11. So it seems like they're even adding it to the menu prices, and it can be upwards of so much money. It's crazy. But I want to ask you, are you finding that when people are coming back to the restaurant, are they getting as dressed up? Are they a little more casual? Have you changed what's on the menu?
So that's a great question. I was just in our St. Armand's location over the weekend and spent a lot of time there. We definitely are noticing a little bit of a difference in the behavior. Now, we have done more measures than a lot of places that I've heard of. We have a sign right outside the door that actually says we are only seating at 50% capacity, so only this many guests that can come in. All the staff is wearing masks. We have one person on sanitation all the time. Everybody's with gloves, and we have talked about all of this stuff. We had glass installed between our booths, and I still we had an amazing following. So we had a lot of guests come back. People are definitely a lot more casual. A lot of people really miss being able to sit at the bar. So there's no bar seating right now, but you know, we're able to sell cocktails to go, so that's a whole different.
Okay, and then I got a
Different
couple
ballgame
other
right there.
questions. When people sit down to order, I was told you should keep your mask on until the food comes.
I think that is a personal choice for people.
Okay, this is what I want to get involved with. It is personal choice. But then as a business owner, we want to bring in people back to the restaurant, correct? The psychology has not caught up to the gloves and the mask inside the restaurant. You can go to paper menus that get thrown out. You can sanitize every 15 minutes. And people are going to be watching everything you do. But when somebody takes off their mask in a restaurant and is sitting there with 15 or 10 people or 3 people, whatever it is, 4 people, it's going to keep and prohibit other people of feeling safe. And I just want to get your opinion on this because I talked to some restaurant owners over the weekend about the apps and about how they want to keep people working as well, but the apps are actually hurting restaurants who can't even make it. They couldn't make it on 25%. And it's very difficult to make it at 50% when people aren't coming in because they don't feel safe. So I know it's a personal feeling, but is it? Because what's happening is if you don't do the extremes, psychology of people will not come in, and then you're going to have a hard time keeping it open, is my question.
So, you know, we follow the recommendations and we are so conscious of how people feel. That's one of the reasons we installed 2-foot tall glass partitions in between the booths. So if you're sitting on one side of the booth and you know, if you sneeze and you turn around, like there's glass, there's protection with that. There must be certain distance between the guests, not between the tables.
Distance between the guests. But I was thinking, and I haven't gone out on a Saturday night in a very long time. Fortunately, we come here, so I decided I'm wearing all my good dresses because I don't feel like getting dressed on the weekend and going anywhere. I think it's more of a casual feel that people kind of just want to hang out, and I see a lot more grilled cheese and soups coming forward, at least on my social media, as comfort food. And I know you've got such great recipes as well, but fish, and people want to get back to eating healthy also.
Yes, we have running a full menu. What we are doing now is actually, I was just taking some photos over the weekend, is we are actually tweaking our lunch menu. So we are adding a little bit more. We just did a full survey with our whole newsletter list with all of our subscribers, and we got about 300 responses in 24 hours. And people, you know, we kind of gave them options. Well, what would you guys like to see? And that's one of the ways that we are always keeping in touch with our followers, with our patrons. And so we are implementing new paninis. We're doing pick 2 combo for lunch. So that's exciting. That's coming and going in effect next week. You know, we do everything properly. We do it as fast as we can while implementing proper training and putting proper marketing in place as well.
And what you're doing, Lady N saved my life about a year ago, because I had so many stomach problems for a year and a half. I tried every medicine on the market, nothing worked. I tried every supplement, nothing worked. You come in a year ago and said to me, I think you should try some squash soup. It is now a staple in my life, your squash and pear soup, that I even sent it to you once, I think. But it has helped me. It has helped my stomach. Like, I can actually eat and function like a normal human being because of what you do. So aside from the restaurant, you've got a whole nother side to you as a cook, as a healing cook with healing foods and properties that I would love to get into. So I want to go to commercial break, and we come back. Let's talk about the Cravings Boss. Let's talk about your cookbook. Let's talk about who you are and what you do, and actually how we first met, because the restaurants came later. So let's talk about what you're doing in your new YouTube channel. We're going to take a quick commercial break, check our sliders, because I am really hot, and we'll be right back.
The benefits of CBD are well known, but not all CBD is equal. At your CBD store, our award-winning products are made from organic industrial hemp. Your CBD store products are third-party tested for purity, and we offer a wide variety of products to meet your needs and preferences. From water solubles, topical creams, and oil drops to pet products. Visit your CBD store and let our knowledgeable staff guide you. Your CBD store.
His abilities as a dry cleaner are so undeniable, dry clean only tags have his phone number printed on the back. Stubborn stains sometimes call him late at night just to apologize. His pickup and delivery service is so fast, his vans have pit crews. He is the most interesting dry cleaner in the world.
You don't always dry clean, but when you do, use A&T dry cleaners. Stay dirty, my friends.
The way you live your life says a lot about you. The way you choose to commemorate your lifetime can say even more. It's a single event that speaks volumes. So how do you celebrate a life? Dignity Memorial providers believe that your memorial service should be as unique as you are, reflecting your personality and your passions. It should be a perfectly tailored send-off, a fitting tribute for family and friends to celebrate the person they love. We're professionals at catering to your every need, right down to the catering. In fact, no detail is too small. So when it comes time for a fitting tribute, we'll see that your final wishes are beautifully fulfilled. It's what Dignity Memorial providers are known for. And why you should rely on us to see that your life is well celebrated. The celebration of a lifetime begins here.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would listen. It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have a platform you deserve to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 55312. That's CAFE to 55312. Or call us at 866-224-5422. Your voice can make a difference.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I think we're back.
And we are back at the Brooklyn Cafe
You know
Show.
what I found out?
What'd you find out?
That when Lady Ann opens a restaurant, and if I see her, I feel safe. I just got that whole feel.
She's amazing, right?
It's just, I think that I'm safe going in to eat in her place.
I think you're 100% right.
There are other places that I've gone to, like I met another guy I got to tell you about. He made these wonderful sandwiches. Great guy. Ain't going in there.
Really? No mask, no gloves?
Oh, no, he had mask and gloves. Great guy. I wasn't feeling that vibe like I feel with her.
She's incredible. We've got Natalia Levy of the Cravings Boss joining us. And she moved.
Hi. Sorry, everything was started to shake in the sound wise, so I figured I'd move to a better internet reception spot in the house.
Did you change your clothes too?
No,
just
the background is really gray.
You can see her differently.
I know, and there she is. So we met Lady Ann when you and I first started, and she was one of our first friends that joined us up
I
at
remember.
iHeart.
This is before she moved to Tampa, no?
No, she lived in Tampa,
she
but
did, okay.
for some, I don't know how she ended up, she was on this side, and maybe it was after the conference.
Yes.
And we've probably only seen her once in the past 3.5 years, but yet there's some people in your life that you just feel connected to, even though we never see you physically. Maybe I've seen you physically twice in 3 years, which is crazy. But she's always a good friend, and we met you because of what you're doing with food. So let's talk about you and how you got started, where you come from. We were talking before about people immigrating over into the United States. You come from Russia, correct?
Yes, I'm from Moscow, from Russia.
And tell us about your book and you as a chef.
Whew. So I lived in New York City, and in 2001, I went through a culinary school right downtown New York, right after 9/11. We actually had to wait for the dust to settle for me to start school, and I loved it. It was a year program, very immersive, and I did some internships, which were fascinating. One was with Laurent Tourandel. It was a French seafood restaurant, so that was kind of very fancy, and we did carpaccio and all kinds of lobster, fancy stuff. And then I did an internship at the corporate cafeteria for 700 employees, and we did a sort of buffet-style breakfast and lunch, and that was really fun. And I worked there for about a couple of months, and then I had some health complications, and I had to exit the industry for a while and just focus on healing myself, and I became a mom, and that became a priority for a few years. And then about, let's see, 7-8 years ago, I sort of hit that plateau in my personal pursuit of health. And a friend of mine, she is a functional medicine doctor, so I came to her and I said, well, what you got for me? And she just opened this door into this whole different world of nutrition and energy, and just the different healing modalities where you don't just sort of put a Band-Aid over the sore, you look for the root cause of all the diseases. And that prompted me to becoming certified as a health coach and as a nutritionist, nutritional consultant. And I published a book, and I gave a TEDx talk. And right now, my love is talking about gut health. I'm actually teaching on Thursday.
She's doing, and I keep seeing all your recipes, and your recipes are incredible. And you're doing a lot on YouTube also now.
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel. We paused filming for a couple of months just because, even sourcing ingredients is a bit challenging, and my videographer is in another part of the country. So we sort of put on pause. And then in the last month, I've actually had been taking care of my mother-in-law, who have been staying with us through hospice care.
So you've had a lot on your plate.
All my healing, cooking has been going towards supporting her her conditions, which has been actually interesting in itself, because I have learned a lot about renal disease and heart failure and how to treat that from a holistic perspective.
Are you able to work with that with different foods as well?
Certain foods, yes, are definitely helpful, because we're looking at edema is a swelling in the feet as well. So, and any sort of foods to support kidney failure.
It's amazing. You go back to food and old school. It's not always about medicine. Please, everyone stay on your medications. But if you can help supplement, I was able to, with Lady Ann's guidance and working with foods, to slow down some of the medications I was taking and increase with foods and actually heal, and I can say heal because it was me, heal my own gut issues and get off of my medications with something so simple as squash and pears, like butternut squash. How will you even put that together? I don't know. But you knew to say to me, you need orange foods. And I've been so much better ever since then.
Well, we've talked about, and it's interesting that you talk about gut health. which is a diabetic staple. And the reason you have diabetes is because lack of gut health. And it is what we eat that makes us ill, and what we take in on those things that we are eating as well. So it comes all the way around to the bottom line. And I used to make fun of this when I first met you, because I thought you were completely out of your mind, and you happen to be 100% correct. Now, these health dishes that you're doing in your personal life is what is being done in the restaurants? Is that the way it works?
So what we have done is because I was not at the origin of the menu that we currently have in the restaurants, but what we have done is, since I came on board, is I basically went in and I analyzed the whole menu, and we have a QR code on our menu, so that if people do have any sort of dietary restrictions, that they can scan the QR code and it takes them to this website where we have sorted through the menu. So there's vegan options, vegetarian options, gluten-free options, under 500 calories options. We make all the pasta in-house, but if somebody doesn't eat pasta, they can sub zucchini noodles for something like that. We have healthy lunch bowls with quinoa and fresh fish. So a lot of the menu items are with that Mediterranean diet, which I do not like to talk about diet, just because I feel like there is something for everyone, and I don't usually recommend a specific diet, just because, I mean, there's something in every diet for everybody, and that's, again, a personal choice. But it's interesting with you talking about diabetes and what we eat. I also believe it's how we eat, because if you are so stressed and if you eat well, you still may not be able to reach your health goals.
But I think and I want everyone to be able to find your YouTube channel and find your book and your recipes, because I can tell you, for me, and I don't cook, if I can do it, anybody can do it, and that is 100% a fact. So how do people find your books, your YouTube channel?
Well, right now I put everything into the hub on the natalialevy.com. The name of my company is Healthy Intent. So it's healthyintent.com, Healthy Intent YouTube channel that has a whole bunch of recipes. One that is trending now is kefir pancakes. They're quite delicious.
When are you opening your restaurant over here in Boca?
We find a good location. We start with the location.
I have the perfect location.
I think you're going to have a lot of choices coming soon, so I think you can pretty much pick anything you want over here pretty much soon.
Well, we don't want to say that, but we have the perfect location.
I hope not. I
hope not too, but I think things are changing, and I think things are going to change.
Like I said, today is day of change. We're going to pivot and find a new way of doing something, not the old way, but the new way. The healthier way is one thing, but the new way as a business. And we talked about this yesterday, putting the tools together as a show of how to stay afloat, how to keep going, and how to grow. You've done it. You're here. You're a living proof that it does work. Yes. And we need to mirror you. More of you, not less of you, is needed by the community, so they can understand how you're doing it actually does work. So a tribute to you, a bell to you. And thank you for kicking this thing off, because today is my day. Today I'm kicking it all off new. And guess who's here when it's
Lady Ann.
That's right.
Love you, honey. So beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us. We cannot wait to see you again in person, hopefully before the next 3 years. But again, thanks for joining us. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you
Bye,
so
sweetie.
much. I love you.
Stay healthy. Again, and there you have it. And she's right. You know, sometimes it isn't just what you eat, it's how you eat it, the stress
And the
environment.
company you eat it with.
And again, an all points bulletin out to Tracy, who again, Tracy from Healing Moments goes hand in hand with this piece. You know, to run a restaurant, I owned one time in my life, and I will never do it again. And hats off to those guys and women that can. It is a tremendously difficult job.
Yep.
It is a hard business, and when you have not one, but two, sometimes 3, 4, 5, man, I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how people do it. And I only hope that everyone can really, at least on our side of where we are, stay open and figure out how to repivot and redo. And I see now people are off. Remember the family meals we talked about last week? I see other restaurants are sending me notifications on their family meals.
But we've been inviting the restaurants to come on down. Let us know you're open.
I think we've got Jimmy C's joining us tomorrow.
Jimmy C's, you gotta love them. Did you hear the latest and greatest on the masks now? You can see through them, so you can see the mouth.
I talked about that, and you told me if we did this, you couldn't breathe.
No,
Remember me not saying that to you?
Yes, but it's not plastic. It's some kind of material. You can see right through it.
Okay. So we'll see what happens with
It's
that.
like putting a plastic bag over your face.
Well, when I said that, that's what you said. And I'm like, all right. But yeah, it's kind of weird.
Well,
it's going to put the lipstick industry out of business, I think, because no one wears lipstick anymore because of the mask.
I'm trying to create a lipstick-free mask. Not these
tell
sticks
you,
on it. You could put Teflon on it.
My masks are just covered in lipsticks. I went over to VacMD and I got some new masks over the weekends, more of the white ones.
I was hoping that you would have her come in here because everybody's talking about her.
She said she is so busy. She says she is so busy. She's got to find time to actually be able to leave the store. So.
Oh, we go to her.
So we can do
That's
that also.
That's the unique part of our new platform.
You know, a year ago we were at Barrel Monks.
I reached out to him and he told me he's busy. Everybody that we hit on is busy. If you're not busy and you want to get busy, give us a holler. We would love to bring you in, do something safe, and let people know what your strategy is. See, people don't get it, Dawn. You got to tell people what your strategy is, and they're going to go in that direction. Crazy Uncle Mike does it every day. Did you see?
Every day.
The motorcycle piece. Come on down and have a beer because it's safe.
Every day.
And he said that, and I posted it. I reposted it to let people know you got to love this guy. You do, because he gets it.
Every day. So give us a call, 888-994-4995. To find out more about Natalia, you can go to her website, natalialevy, LEVEY.com. Healthy Intent, her cookbook, her restaurants, everything that she does is right there. And yes, you can help feel better. I don't want to use the H word, but it did help heal my stomach through foods and doing it the right way. And there's a lot of intent, eating with intention, with the right people, the right food, the right company.
Eating with intention?
A lot of intent.
That's a bumper sticker?
I don't know, it just came in my head.
A bumper sticker. You know who we have this afternoon coming talking about bumper stickers?
Oh.
Jeff from Promo Stuff For You. We had to shoot a commercial and everything else for him.
All right, Jeff from Promo Stuff For You joining us, and Mama Ali will be joining us this afternoon as well.
Mama Ali in the ring. Did you hear what I want to do?
Yes, I did.
I want to create a ring around her. Half a ring.
A half a ring?
A half a ring.
Mama Ali is a full ring in herself.
No, she's the fighter and the
She's
judge and
joining us
everything.
today, a great lady. We've got a lot of shows coming up at 10:30. We've got Slick Speaks, 11 Callaway's Corner, 11:30 is Fuego, and we are back on air at 12. A lot going on. And then at 2:30, we have The Reinvented Life with Pamela Chanel David joining us from California. So she'll be in at 2:30, and we just keep going.
And we keep growing, just like you should be.
Have a great morning, everyone. Be safe, be kind to each other, drive carefully. It's a little wet out here, and let us know how we can help elevate your business on AMP Media Productions. Have a great morning.
And we'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Don't be late.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today,